27 years back, I wanted to go on holidays with a beautiful girlfriend I had, just like you at that time. But no money. Then I decided to go to my mother's place to enjoy holidays there. And my mother said, you are not married. You come here with too many people. So you better get out, because the whole neighborhood is talking bad about us, you know, Greek mothers. Anyway, I decided to follow my heart. I couldn't leave this girl alone. And then we went to the seaside and we found a beautiful, big, 2 meters thick mattress made out of seaweed. When sea gets rough, throws out what? Seaweed. And then I go back to my mother and I said, what about if I make a mattress and I sleep on the terrace? She was afraid that I would spoil the new mattresses, acrylic mattresses she had bought. And she says, no, no, this is not good mattress. I've been doing that 40 years and it's no good. I know every year we have to change the mattress. So she was making mattresses, but it was painful because the mattresses used to break a year later. So we started making mattresses out of seaweed, and then we realized that there was a noisy mattress because you hear the cracks at night. And then every year you have to make a new one. So we decided to combine then whatever we could find in Greece, because there was no money to start a company as usual, going to a bank and asking money and all this stuff. So we put cotton, we put wool, and in Greece we have 11 million sheep, but we don't do anything with 11 million kilos you get out of one animal. So it's another 55 million euros that we throw away, and we import wool from where? Australia and New Zealand. So anyway, out of nothing, we started making mattresses, or raw material for mattresses. And little by little, people understood that when you make a mattress without any springs, you sleep on a mattress, you know what is inside? In your mattress, you do? We decided then to have a zipper around, so that everybody who doesn't believe Greeks, because we have a very bad reputation around the world, we throw our money in the fireplace, or ladies, we put their money you know. Have you been to Greece somewhere? Anybody has been to Greece? No? So you have done the same? Throwing plates, you know? You know these stories. So we had to start somewhere where people would believe us. And then we said, transparency. So we would never make a product without a zipper. So it doesn't matter what we produce, we have a zipper around. That means cushions, we have a zipper. Pillow, the same. Beds, mattresses. So if you buy a bed, the complete bed of Coco-Mat, everywhere is a zipper so you can wash it and see what is inside. By the way, outside there is a 4-layer bed. If you check, you see everywhere zippers. So the disadvantage then, that as far as credibility is concerned, we turn it into an advantage. And I personally believe in Coco-Mat also as a company, that when you have a difficulty, when you have a crisis, when you have a problem to solve, be happy, because you find solutions that other people don't think of. So we made mattresses, pillows, cushions, everything with 100% transparency and very hygienic, because you can wash whatever you sleep on. Do you wash your mattress ever?
I forgot.
You forgot? So you don't then?
No, I don't.
Or your wife does?
His wife.
Yes, 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 yes. Where are you from? China?
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. Do wives do the same like in Greece, in Hong Kong? I thought it... No, 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 he says no. Huh? So nobody washes them, in other words. This is very, very essential, because when we wear clothes, we wash them. So people in the States, especially in the United States of America, they talk about bed bugs, no? And everybody is proud to say in this mattress, you cannot get bugs, because for whatever reason, they say. We don't talk about that because everything is washable. It's a big advantage. So we don't talk about magnetic felt that the springs create when you sleep. You have a mobile, no? You switch it off at night?
Yes.
Yes, of course you do.
night, yeah.
Who doesn't? No, you don't? 24 hours you work, no? We believe that we have to sleep in a room, we must sleep in a room where it's very quiet, without any metal, non-metal beds, you know? Non-metal, nothing metal around you to create a negative magnetic field, so you relax. How many hours do you sleep per night? Bed? 7? Who sleeps 5 or 6? You? 5 or 6. And you are Top Gun, no? Yeah? You're not tired, no? I tell you, I am 59. I sleep 4 hours a day on a bed, a mattress like this, and you wake up and you are full with energy. Why? Because Coco-Mat is so good company. No. Because when you sleep next to something which has got sun hours is a notion that we invented after so many years of experience, thinking that when you touch something which is dead, let's say a plastic material is dead, you know what I mean? It was never born. A plastic thing is not born, you know? It is dead, it's there. Doesn't give you anything. Be happy if it doesn't take away something from you, if it's metal, but doesn't offer you anything. Had food today, no? You had some fruits? Yes, you did? What did you eat as a fruit? A banana? You like bananas, no? How many hours a banana needs in order to be ripe? I believe 4 months in the sun. That's why we don't get bananas here, no, in Switzerland. Have you seen a banana tree here? No. So this banana gave you, gave me, gave us power to move. The same thing is with the natural raw materials we use for our mattresses and beds. Because if we take cotton, cotton has to be in the sun for at least 6 months in order to be ripe. So some energy from the sun must be in cotton. Am I following your rules? Do I have to talk about this or do I have to talk? No, it's okay? And you stop me, You stop me when? The same is with seaweed. Seaweed, no? Seaweed in the sea comes out, but it takes years to come out. And you eat sushi. And the sushi is made out of seaweed, no? And when you eat sushi, you get power, energy. The same happens with products that are next to you. And in a very passive way, you rejuvenate yourself by being next to something that has energy. This notion, sun hours, is something new. And if you explain to people sun hours energy, they say, come on, give me a break. It doesn't apply. It does. Probably nobody has ever taken care of that, but thinking that this energy comes to your body. But please try to sleep on a non-metal, natural mattress, bed one night, and you will realize following day that you are a different person. Of course, people sleeping 6, 7 hours, 8 hours a day is nice. But when I was young, I used to sleep 7, 8 hours. But now I don't need that anymore. But still the same power. And it's crazy. Anyway, Coco-Mat started in such a way, using whatever we had in nature. But not only that, our first employee was a disabled person. And why did you do that? Because I heard that marketing is good and we are studying marketing and all this. I don't believe in marketing. Sorry. I don't believe in any computers and thinking, and we have this strategy also. I believe that your routine, your daily life is your marketing. So whatever you do, it reflects to your products, and you don't have to think about a big strategy, you know what I mean? Whatever you do every day, you will see that as a mirror to your in your company's life. So nowadays in Greece, I say to people, just change your life and go from home to work by bike. First of all, if you do that, you get 5% increase of your salary. We tried, we didn't succeed. Only 4 or 5 people, and then they stopped. Then we said, why don't we pay immediately? We decided to pay 0.20 cent, 20 euro cent, okay? Back and forth, let's say 20 kilometers, so they get how much money? per day?
How many kilometers? Sorry.
20 kilometers, 20 cents a day.
$4.
$4 euros, we pay in euros. And another €4 that they don't pay for petrol and all this, €8 a day. A month?
240.
You see Chinese people, they're very fast, man. 240, that's it. You know the average salary in Greece?
Average salary?
In Greece, 600, minimum salary, no average. Half of it, it goes to cars. It's crazy, eh? Half of it. The other half goes to Mr. Marlboro. You know the gentleman? You don't? Any American? No, Mr. Marlboro is a nice guy with a nice tie and everything, serious, goes to him. Because you complain around the world that Greeks, they don't pay taxes. They do pay taxes, you know, to Mr. Marlboro, to Mr. BP, you know. They go every day and they pay. And there is also another big taxpayer in Greece, the one who is using mobile, no? I see in youth that they are looking at one another, saying, where are you? I'm here. You see me? I see you. And this is another €100 a month. If it's not, it's 50, but no less than that. So some people nowadays, they complain that Greeks, they don't pay taxes to the state. They don't have any money to pay because they pay to the foreign companies that they invaded Greece by changing the way we should be living. Because in a country like Greece with 40 degrees average, tomorrow is 42. Are you coming to Greece? Who is coming to Greece this week? I invite you, by the way, everybody is invited to come and see how we work. We have 3 residences in Greece. It's free for everybody. You can take your families and visit us. And here, I give you my email.
We have circulated.
Who hasn't got a pen? This is coming from Sparta, by the way, not from China, because they said don't touch pens, you know, because in China it's very cheap. We go and cut it, make the hole here by bike. We get on a bike, we have a generator, and then we make the hole. All right? So we sell it around the world, engraved your name, 20 cents. You know, nothing. So could you go around and give everybody, this is my email address, keep it, and if you want to come, you are very welcome. No obligation to buy anything, no obligation to do anything, just to see how we produce with disabled people together with us, everything by hand, like the bike, and all the other products like the pen. So you are very welcome, and this is the easiest way and the cheapest way to do branding. Because if you go to somebody who is specialized, they are starting what is your target group, what are the demographics in this city, blah, blah, blah. At the end, there is a focus groups, words that we Greeks, we don't understand because we didn't grow up with these words. And at the end, the bill is coming, 100,000 euros for what I told you. I don't like that at all. So we decided to have some residences, 20 years now, free for everybody. So if we make people happy, because what do we have, Greeks? Hospitality. This is what we have. We open doors to everybody. Come in to drink with us, to have food, to dance with us. So whatever then we do is because we love it, and we don't do that for money. When we started with this disabled guy 24 years ago, that's the first employee we had, it is because my father used to work in Germany and he was disabled 25 years. And he couldn't come to Greece more than 2 weeks a year. He used to come by train down 1 week and by train up. So I met my father when I was 18. But there is no other person in my life that I admire so much. He wouldn't say anything to me, but I was learning, but the things that he was doing, he couldn't communicate that because he was a little bit different. So, and he used to work there for 3 years, and the first money, he bought a house for his brother. So for me, that was my liberation. That was the way to show me that the less you have, the happier you are. whereas other people think exactly the opposite. One of them is my brother. But by the way, I'm very proud of my brother who runs the company. I don't run the company. Because this beautiful girl told me, Paul, are you in the company? Because some transactions, Mr. Mario does all these transactions. Big money is coming in, equities, what do you call that? All this you say later. But I'm not in this business. I'm free, like a bird. And now I'm very happy thinking that when we finish, I go with this beautiful girl to Geneva. This is my pleasure. This is a gift from God. We are going together, enjoy the birds, you know, and we will have fun. So my brother runs the business and he's very serious. He went to Everest. I tell you another story, because there are many ways to go and reach something. My way, which is I'm nowhere and everywhere. This is what I told you. I've never been into the company. I've never got out because I'm nowhere. I'm the Holy Spirit there. But my brother does exactly the opposite. He pays 800 people, you know. He pays them. I cannot pay anybody. But I make them happy. Once I was in Athens, where we have the central offices, and I wanted to give something to my people. Then I started giving a massage, you know. I said, I cannot give you any extra money, but I did this to everybody. 65 people, I went around. Some people, they were very big like you know. Can you turn the chair a little bit? Can you sit differently? Like this. And because big guys like him, you know, and I did that by like this.
Wow.
And now, you like it, eh?
Yeah.
That's it. So, you like a massage now? No? Anyway, thank God that my brother is there. Otherwise, I would be in a prison, and I mean that, because I cannot sort of get on with money and papers. I don't have an office. I don't have a car. He's got very fast cars. And he went up to Everest. This story is incredible. He went with his youngest son in Kilimanjaro. They did that. His son was almost killed because he couldn't breathe anymore, 50 years old. Anyway, they were very happy to come down, both of them. And then he decided to go to Everest. Incredible. He has never climbed anything. And then within 2 months, because he was heavy, 100 kilos, 183 tall, heavy, you know what I mean? So he was running. I was there with him. And then he tried 6 times to climb, 5 in Greek mountains, which are very low, and one here in Switzerland, I think, Mont Blanc. And then he got up to Everest.
May 22nd.
May 22nd. That means there is no one way. It's not only my way to do business. So I accept him as like he does business, like as he is. So we must think that alternative ways of doing things, business, style of life, or whatever, must be acceptable. So I'm here to teach you my way, to tell you my way, and I would like you to experience that. That's why everybody is invited to see how things can run also by our way, by my way, which is completely different. Making somebody happy doesn't necessarily mean that he gets the highest salary of the world, you know. He can be happy with very little, somebody like me. I don't eat anything. I don't eat meat, no fish, expensive things, no? What happens in a company is that always you want to become better than your competitor, all right? So you must grow every year and grow and grow. Cancer grows without stopping when it starts. Could be a parallel thinking that you have to grow and again money and again profit, and at the end life passes by and you're just a tourist. You don't touch life. Whereas tonight, this afternoon, we are going to enjoy a 3-hour trip, okay? Relaxing. Whereas in the car, you don't have time to talk. You cannot talk on the phone. You might get a bill if the police stops you or whatever. You are not a free man. No? Anyway, I don't know. This story has been written and everybody knows the story.
I think the spirit of Coco-Mat is embedded by what you have seen Paul saying. I will manage. I had an accident playing football with my son, which actually was a lesson because Mike went to Mount Everest and he came back unscathed. Okay, but as you all know, there are the little things that damage a company when you overlook how the business, the everyday process is affected. So we need to pay attention not to the big things that we're going to do, we strategize. We always dedicate the necessary resources for that, but it's the everyday things. And for Coco-Mat, the everyday thing is to produce good mattresses, good pillows, and not to forget that we are a family company. As we say to people that join us, Coco-Mat is a family company. Once, no matter what, how much it grows, if it stops being a family company, it's going to become a shit company. And that's during interviews, and people look at us and say, what are you talking about? I said, yes. The moment we stop being a family company, which utilizes the spirit of Paul, we're going to cease to be a viable company. Obviously, as you can understand, Paul doesn't manage the business. There is a team, an organized team, which manages every aspect of the business. And a lot of times people also mistake it because they see the spirit of Paul, who is obviously not somebody you can rein in and control. You know, he's a free-spirited man. And they come here.
Count for you though, eh? We are going to have a good time, eh?
He will persist.
You can see he has experience, right?
And then you come to Greece with your family, and we are going to do crazy things there. You are going to learn how to balance on a bike. I promise you that.
Okay.
But a company needs to be able to embrace the different aspects of it. A company would never have been founded without Paul. And the company would not survive as long as it has without Paul's ideas. Because Paul is a disruptive force within the company. Okay, he comes in, and then with his ideas, he motivates, he generates ideas, he makes everyone think. And also he ensures that we don't lose the reason why the company was created. As I call him, when I joined the company many years ago, the moral compass of the company. So everything we do, we need to say, okay, what would Paul think about this? Is this a product that would fit in with our product range? Because every company needs a moral compass. We concentrate about strategy and all these things, but at the end of the day, a company needs to be loyal to what it does. And Coco-Mat will never diversify from what it's doing. It will always stay and focus on what to do. Let's look at an example in our sector. You know, Tempur-Pedic. Everybody knows Tempur-Pedic. A lot of you may slip. That's a different philosophy from us, which is fine. But for years, they've been fighting against spring mattresses, saying memory foam is the best. Organic growth stopped, okay, in the memory foam. Other companies entered the sector. So in order for them to grow, what did they do? They bought Sealy, which is an alternative. You know, it's a spring mattress sector. So effectively, the virginity of their brand disappeared because you cannot create a company, found a company based on the principles of memory foam is good sleep for you, and all of a sudden, 15, 20 years later, saying, well, we need to increase shareholders' wealth, we need to make sure financial analysts support our story, so we need to do something else, you know, and this is something else. Coco-Mat always has embraced something. We were founded on the very premise of being natural, because we go around to the US and say, oh my God, you are natural. We have always been natural. Natural is not something, a fad that we jumped upon like everyone else is doing right now, you know. You see companies that are not green, but they're green. I don't know how they're green. Maybe they paint their offices green or something, but they're definitely not green. So Paul founded this company with Mike on the very premise that we will create only natural mattresses, and everything we will do shall be linked, not only in terms of the product where you sleep, but also in sustainable practices. Everything Coco-Mat needs in order to create its mattresses is naturally sustainable. The sea creates its own seaweed. Cotton grows. You know, you need to cultivate it. Yes, as the rubber trees, they need to be cultivated. But at the end of the day, we take nothing away that cannot be disposed of and that cannot be revived again naturally. So these are very important characteristics about us. And people, when they join our company, many times they look at Paul, how he's dressed. They look at that it's a very flat organization, no structures, nobody has a secretary. We were interviewing somebody in the United States and said, well, I need 2 secretaries. And Mike and I were dumbfounded because none of us has a secretary. We arrange our own trips, we do everything ourselves. So because a company is natural, because a company is healthy in its lifestyle, people believe that how we operate is nonchalant, we are relaxed and we don't do any work. And actually quite the opposite. We work from 9 in the morning until 9 at night. Not because of the salaries or because we want to make a difference. So the wholesale market is 65 billion, yeah? And I'll show you how it is divided. Springs, memory, our sector. That is our big sector, and we're totally transparent. I'm a former investment banker, as you may have noted, and I would have worn different trousers, but I hurt my leg. And when I first met the company, and as you read the case, I had the experience of sleeping on it, and then I found out research about the company. I was dumbfounded that everything you could see everything through it. I said, well, there isn't a patent pending, typical investment banking questions. Isn't there a patent for this that we can secure it? It means everyone can copy it. But it's not memory. Tempur-Pedic can copy us anytime they like. Actually, the CFO was in our store in Soho about 2 years ago, and we're sitting around having coffee. They know exactly what we're doing. And the only thing he could say was, nice, nice. It takes commitment and dedication to create a mattress like Coco-Mat is doing. We do not want this market. We do not want this market. We want this market share to grow, so when people wake up, to think not of springs or memory foam, to think of something else, the natural sector. And all our marketing activities, yes, which we do some marketing activities, but obviously we're not like the big companies that spend.
But we are going to Geneva today. This is marketing.
This is marketing, a natural way, exactly. Yeah. So our peer company in the States, they say, well, you're doing all these actions, but you never talk about Coco-Mat. We do, the major players spend about 40 cents to their dollars of revenues on marketing. At Cetra, Tempur-Sealy, Select Comfort. We spend about 5 cents to a dollar because it costs money to make our mattresses. It really does. And as you can see, everything is made by hand. We have investors in our company. When they came and they saw the factory, they said, bloody hell, what is this? There's no machinery, there's just people. I said, yeah, we just hire people with the machines, and this is what they do. So our PR company, we told them, we don't want Coco-Mat to be in whatever you do. We want people to realize that when they wake up and they want to buy a mattress, to realize that there's no 2 choices. It's not only springs or memory foam. There's an alternative choice, a choice that doesn't take back anything, doesn't take anything away from Mother Earth, is good for them, okay? The natural segment, okay? And this is what we're doing in order to grow this for the good of our company and the good of other companies in the sector, okay? We don't care, because ultimately it's for the good of everyone who uses our mattresses, who uses mattresses made out of natural products. Okay, this is, I just want to give a little overview because Paul, I think, espouses the spirit of the company. We maintain it, but I think the audience needs to understand that there is a company, an organization behind that.
The question is, have we persuaded anybody to buy a mattress or a bed from us?
We say we do not do a lot of marketing, but one of the greatest advertisements for us is the hotels that have our beds. And really, this is not lying here. September and October, we see a spike in our sales in Germany, in Spain, in France, because you have all these people staying in primarily boutique hotels in Santorini, Mykonos, and etc. And primarily, modestly, I would say that are furnished with our beds, and they highlight that. And then these couples or singles stay there for a week, and they all They test our beds, and then they come back to Germany or even United States in New York, and they say, "Oh, that's a company. That's a company." They come in, and it's an easy sell. It's those times that salespeople in everywhere around the world in Coco-Mat, because we usually spend, the average salesperson spends about an hour talking about the bed and sleep, and then they spend about half a minute talking about the price. What discount can you give? No, non-discounts, no discounts. So that's a quick decision. It's the only time, though, that people come in and say, "Well, I tried that bed. I just want this bed. Don't you want to try it?" "No, I don't want to try it." They just purchase it. Makes life easy for us.
And by the way, we have something unique now. We made this beautiful bike, wooden bike, the only bike in the world that has no connection between the seat and the pedals. You haven't seen any other bike in your life, no? Always the seat, where you sit, is connected with the pedals. We create this vibration, this flexibility with the V behind. What we say to customers is, if you like this bike, come and test it. You get for a week or two to try, whatever, as long as you need. And if you buy the bike, then you get a voucher with your whole money back to come to Greece, to plant a tree, and to enjoy holidays. For the money you paid, you enjoy holidays with the hotels. So the hotels accepted to do that because this customer, let's say, from United States of America, wouldn't come to his hotel unless we are the intermediate part that sell a bike and then boost the tourism in October, November, when there is not high season, you know? So if anybody likes this bike, very welcome, okay? And by the way, we started doing a nice business because we believe that in Greece we need a sustainable way of living. Instead of doing all these deliveries by motorbikes, polluting the environment, not only by gas, but also a lot of noise, we started already doing tours around the world, in Stockholm, let's say, in Amsterdam, in Berlin, in Bordeaux, and young people, they bought 10 bikes and they do a tour. They ask 40 euros, they give them 3.5 hours to go around the city to see everything thoroughly. So this is what we are selling, fun, happiness. Because somebody said, "What are you selling in Coco-Mat?" Via bikes, mattresses, beds, or whatever we create, we sell happiness, or we give happiness to people.
And I think the biggest struggle that we have is because Greeks are famous for many things, many negative things, but also many positive things. And one of those positive things is that we have the ability to speak, make people, we have our charm, you know. I think most, at least, you know, with Greek men, I think the most, we're not big or strong, we have one weapon, it's charm, you know. And to convey that to different cultures is very difficult. For example, in New York, I was recently there, it's so hard to get a salesperson to walk a customer through the door, you know. And we tell them, when you have a guest in your home, do you finish your meal, then you tell them goodbye and they leave? No, you walk them to the door. When you greet them, you don't shout, you walk to them. You know, there is this kind of ethos is very hard to instill, no matter how much you preach it. And I had an experience, a very fit and proper Anglo-Saxon American kid that works for us. And I was there because we don't have any offices, so we spend time in the stores. Another thing about our company is everybody needs to spend time at the store. The marketing department, they need to spend one afternoon of their week at the store. The international department, they need to spend one afternoon of the week in a store selling products, yes? They need to have that client. The only people that don't do it, and it's going to change, is the deco people. And they come up with these creative ideas. I said, okay, they're non-practical. So he did everything. He said, "Marius, I followed the checklist." And he's been with us for a year. I said, "Yeah, Charles," and a very nice guy. I said, "It's not a matter of following the checklist, it's a matter of filling the checklist." And that's very hard. And that's where Paul comes in place, because when they see Paul, how he cooperates, how it is his company. He's been there so many years and he's still so passionate about it. And it's that passion that makes a difference to our people. And we do bring people from abroad to come to Greece in order to understand what we're about. And once they come, it's not all team building and fun. They go and spend one day at the store in Greece. Because in Greece, we could live and not care about them, because we know that the sales leader of each store will have tea, will have crackers, will have yogurt and dips, which is part of our DNA. We want people to be comfortable, to relax, because only then can they enjoy the beds, relax, take off. You know, in New York, people come and they have their handbags and they lie down. And we tell them, no, you have to take it off. You know, you can remove your handbag. Nobody's going to steal it. Relax, put your feet up. Don't worry about it. You know, and this is something that that you can only you know, experience if you come to Greece.
Of course, we have conflicts. My brother is completely different than me. But he's also my son. Crazy. I told you about my father. My father was away. So he's 8 years younger than me. So he respects me in a different way, and I respect him also. So when there is something, I understand immediately that he's right, because he's very good at something, and I am very good at something else. So we always have different roles, and we respect one another, and we always think there must be only one captain on a boat, and that's my brother. But it's also crazy to think that, you know, the Christian religion, do you? Christians, we are more or less Christians here, all of us in Europe. Yes, we have three things. The Holy Spirit, you know the expression Holy Spirit? Doesn't do anything. Holy Spirit, by the way, hasn't got any title, no?
It's holy.
Well, it's holy, you know? We have Jesus Christ, who said nice things and this and that, and probably Holy Spirit, I'm there. I'm nowhere and I'm everywhere. This is important to have it in a company. It's like a catalysator, where things go through and then they might be purified inside. This is what we do. So,
more specific to the question, in terms of we each know where the strengths lie, yeah? And therefore, there are certain things that Paul, if Paul has an idea about something in terms of customer service, for example, then we take heed. If it's something like about financing, you know, I mean, he does it. And also there's a kind of a modus operandi. If we have an executive coming, somebody that Paul met, and says, I spoke with Paul and he asked me to meet with you to discuss this, then those people are forewarned that once they enter Mike's office or my office, it's a different environment. You know, it's not Paul. We're going to sit down very meticulously and strategize and think about all the critical issues. So we prepare them, because Paul, he has solutions for everything, but he doesn't explain how those solutions are going to be reached, because he's the moral compass. He's the Holy Spirit of the company.
Talking about me nicely, you know?
No, but you see, we need him. We need him. But Paul is like, come up with an idea and says, okay, everyone do it, you know? But we try to incorporate the super ideas that he has. I mean, he has a lot of them. But, you know, we try to filter it to the one or two that are applicable, and then we execute them, you know, together with all the other things we need to execute. Scale up, I think Paul comes to Greece, and there are no, the doors are always open. It truly is a flat organization. I mean, sometimes to an extent that is bothersome. I mean, it's, you know, everybody can come in and speak to everyone. You know, Mike's door is always open. You just knock and you walk in, you know, if it's closed. And then Paul comes in, and actually when I first met the company, I remember I was advising a private equity company in making an investment into Coco-Mat, and due to the crisis, it didn't happen. And I remember going with this private equity company, their factory, with Mike, and I was astounded because Mike knew everyone's name in the factory. And I told the partner that were based out of their New York private equity company, but the partner from Munich, I said, I'm astounded. First time I've been in a factory where the owner knows everyone's name, and everybody was coming and they were hugging and kissing, you know, as you do typically in Greek. I was astounded. I said, there's something different here. Besides, I had already experienced the product. You know, I felt there was something different. See? And that's why I talked about being a family company. And once we stop being a family company, we would become a shit company. Because it's a part of our DNA. And if we ever move away from that, then you have people such as Paul to tell you, okay, guys, fine. You have your fun, you're more successful, your EBITDA is higher, but we're losing this. So he always brings us to our attention. I may have my concrete ideas about Paul's organization skills and stuff like that, but we couldn't be anywhere without his moral compass. Yeah?
How to make a mattress or a bed expensive or not. If you go around to nature and you try to get out seaweed, we have 18 raw materials, 18. Cactus, seaweed, what do you call that, eucalyptus, horsehair, cocoa fiber, silk, linen, cotton, blah, blah. If you go to the sea, because seaweed is free, you don't pay anybody, you know? So you go and collect seaweed, it costs so much money because you have to wait till the turbulence is happening, you know, at the beginning in autumn. Then it comes out, but if it comes out, where? Because it has to be dry. So we are looking for places where rocks are, where there is no traffic, people, plastic or whatever. So we send people there. We have specific places now. They collect it one by one. You know, it has to be long, not small. And they don't have to smell. If they are together, if they are packed together, they smell, you know? So it depends on the raw material. That's why the beds or mattresses are priced, because according to the difficulty of collecting or producing this nature-made fiber, not man-made fiber. Big difference, eh? Acrylic, polyester, all this is man-made fiber. We use nature-made fiber. That's why sometimes a little bit more expensive. But then you breathe iodine. Very important, no?
I think the biggest limitation that we have is a prohibiting factor, let's say. It's the critical hurdle is people. Actually having opening stores and to get people to embrace our ethos and to be able to execute that. I think that's the biggest hurdle that we have. In certain countries, this is easy to meet. In certain cultures, it's more difficult, and I think that is our biggest, because you can have, to put it very simply, you can have the nicest store in the world, and actually our stores are very nice. But if you have a team that is incompetent, and it doesn't mean incompetent, it doesn't mean they are useless or they are not willing to sell, but they don't espouse their ideas and the way we do things, it will not be successful. But then you have a very mediocre store, okay, in a neighborhood that is not so, but you have good people, and it changes. Another thing about Coco-Mat stores is that we're not there to merely sell. We're there to be a focal point of the community. You're saying, okay, they're bullshitting me now. Actually, it's no bullshit. For example, in Soho stores, and I've been to these events, we had a fashion show. We had cooking classes. We have yoga. We have women fertility classes, and actually Paul's brother was there and said, why are you all women here? You should be out having meeting men, you know, not being here talking about this. We had the Royal Presbyterian Hospital holding an event about afterburn victims. And let me tell you, I just flew over from Greece, and I was there, and I saw people having 90% burns. And I thought to Alicia, she was a sales leader, I said, I can't handle this. You know, I'm too tired, and I cannot look at these people. And actually, at the end of the day, there was a beautiful woman that 90% victim because she saved. She was a nurse. And in a typical Greek fashion, I wanted to kiss her. When we departed, I said, no, my skin is whatever. So, I mean, so it's a diversity of events. And when Coco-Mat opens a store, we never want to close it because we are part of that community. People, when they hold these events in our stores, they don't need to pay anything. There is one clear understanding, no red wine or anything like that. We just provide a space for them. You know, you have painters that cannot afford a gallery. A gallery will not take them. So we have that. And what we ask them is we put it on social media that they have it. So we become a part of the community. That's the way we advertise our products, by becoming a part of the community, having people experience them without needing to sell them anything. What keeps us up at night is what happens in Greece, which is out of our hands. It's the systematic risk that we are not willing to disassociate ourselves with from because, you know, Coco-Mat mattress made outside Greece is incomprehensible. And the transportation expenses, we had some inquiries from Australia, and they said, oh no, you know, we need to make them in Greece. In Australia, I said, ridiculous. A big 40-foot container which fits about 100 queen mattresses, costs about 17 Australian dollars a mattress. It's nothing. It's inconsequential when you're talking with a mattress of, that costs 1,600 and a bed system that costs well into the thousands. So what keeps us up at night is it's the systematic risks that we have in Greece and the reputation that comes along with that, because you always hear negative. So when people come to our store and you tell them, you speak, and they say, oh, we're a Greek company, it can either be a positive because of all the positive experiences which they had in Greece, whether it's a nice holiday with a family, with a lover, whatever, or the negative experience usually with regard to what is happening for the last 9 years, that every time you hear about whether there will be Greek exit and all that stuff. So that is, and it's out of our hands. And we feel the burden of being ambassadors, I think ambassadors to Greece, listen, besides dancing the Zorba and breaking plates, we are viable minds. And I think, and quite frankly, in order to promote Greece a bit, I don't think there is a small minority of immigrants in the United States that has made an impression into the country there, such as the Greek Americans. With all due respect to the other Spanish, Portuguese, Italians, Germans, I think, you talk about banking and other areas, Greeks have made. Just Greek needs a lot of discipline. And in Greece, unfortunately, the parties do not provide that discipline with which Greeks can operate. In terms of the last 3 years, it has grown from 20% international business to currently, we're going to finish this year for the first time with, we do hope, about 55% international. And we have not done that, I need to know, we have not done that by investing in our stores. I mean, we made some investments about 2 years ago in the United States and in Germany, but it's all made through, and that is in relation, Greek sales are slightly up. So it's not that Greek sales have declined and international sales have grown somewhat. In fact, Greek sales have remained more or less constant, slightly up. Hotel sales much higher, have increased significantly in Greece, because Greece is where the investment goes. But international sales have grown because we're making an impact. We like to feel in the market in expanding the market's perception that there is an alternative category. And Urs was telling me about a Swiss company that makes beds which are just as good as ours. And it's a wise choice you made. And we have no hesitancy in saying that what is good for the industry, for our sector, it's good for everyone. And whatever we do, we like to have an impact on that.